Hi everyone! So welcome back to my channel, and today I have a different kind of video. I am going to give you some tips on how to stay on track when you're going to a work event, conference, because I am on my way to one today. And so I wanted to give you guys a few tips and show you what I am bringing to stay on track while I am at this day-long conference. Now mine is just one day. I don't have to travel by air. I don't have to stay overnight, anything like that. I am going in a car. We have to do, it is an hour and a half drive there and back, so we will be in the car about 3 hours depending on traffic. And then the event itself is about 4.5 hours long, I believe, 4 hours, something like that. And I just wanted to give you some tips. So first, kind of the don'ts. Don't forget to stay hydrated. That is such a huge thing, especially when you're in the vehicle. It is so easy to forget to drink water. When you're sitting there at a meeting, it's so easy to forget to stay hydrated. So stay hydrated. Also, don't assume that there will be healthy options for you at these conferences. A lot of you that are seasoned travelers or seasoned meeting goers like myself, you know that what you're actually going to be confronted with typically is that during the breakfast time, you're going to have muffins and bagels and donuts and pastries and juices, and then usually there is some fruit as well. So that's a good option when you get up to that point for breakfast. And then you have the break time, and what do you usually see? Big giant cookies and leftover from whatever was left over from breakfast. And then you have lunch, and a lot of times you'll have soups and sauces, and there's been, in our local area, typically the caterers do put all the sauces on the side, but I'm going out of my area, so I have no idea what to expect. So I don't want to assume that there's going to be healthy options for me, so I need to arm myself with some healthy snacks, quick and easy, something I don't mind having and something that is easy for me to transport. Also, just make sure you, again, stay hydrated. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to bring with me to my conference. Now, also a few little tips about the food buffet. So depending on what type of lunches are offered, I've seen a huge different, array of different options that we've had. Let's see, I've been to places where they've had a big taco bar. Where they've had, the taco shells, the flour tortilla shells. But also, almost every time, but I don't want to assume, but almost every time there is always a salad option. So whenever I've been confronted with these like taco bars, I've just made a taco salad. So typically I stick with the chicken depending on what it looks like, because typically the chicken is just shredded up, and so more than likely there's not any oil used in it. It might be a little bit, but I usually can taste it if it has been. And I would just make myself a taco salad versus making a burrito or taco. And I would just stay away from the beans and stay away from the meat, because I don't think it's probably lean meat considering it's made for a crowd, and we know that the super lean meat is always more expensive. So my guess is that a caterer is not going to go for the leaner meats. Also, I've been to places where they've had sandwich bars, but again, I have always had that salad option. So instead of making a sandwich, I would just make a salad, but out of the sandwich kind of fixings. So you could, take a piece of lunch meat, you could take some cheese, you could even take the pickles, tomatoes, and make yourself a salad as well. So that way you have options. Hopefully the salads, the dressings are on the side. I don't think I've ever been to anywhere where the dressing was not on the side, but you never know. So you just have to kind of look at it, look for any labels they may have, and just look for, hopefully any low-fat, sugar-free options. I feel like also kind of in this day and age, there's a lot of sugar-free options or gluten-free or things like that are offered at these conferences to be sensitive to people's needs and wants and their health issues. So I don't know, I just don't want to go on the assumption. So I like to arm myself with things that I can eat and not, so if I don't have a chance to eat a very big lunch because there weren't a lot of options there for me, at least I have lots of healthy snacks that can get me through the day until I get home. So things that may fill you up, and I will show you what I am bringing. And then also another tip is to try to eat breakfast before you go. Depending on what time the conference starts, eat a little something, even if it's a yogurt before you leave. If you have an early conference, eat a yogurt. Just something that will give you a little protein, just something to fill you up a little bit, so then maybe you won't be as tempted with the pastries and the donuts and things like that, and you can just have some fruit and you've already had your yogurt. Bring your yogurt with you if it's, I know a lot of conferences, they have like a little breakfast ahead of time, and the conference itself doesn't start until like 30 minutes into that. So you can always, so if you're staying at a hotel, so if it is an overnight stay and you're staying at a hotel, instead of going to the conference for the breakfast, have breakfast maybe at the hotel with things that you've brought, or go to the hotel breakfast and see, any options that they have there. But if you arm yourself, travel with some yogurts and fruits and just things that you want to eat for breakfast, and have that before you go to the conference, then you're not tempted and you can just, have some coffee or some fruit or something like that. So those are really my basic tips for how to stay on track when you are going on a business meeting or you're traveling for business. Another few tips for traveling for business is, as far as, like I said, the hotel, make sure you have a mini fridge. If there's a gym there, utilize it, use the gym. I don't know. I feel like I said, I feel like you can really travel with some things. If you are traveling by air, you may not want to bring all that food and stuff. So when you get there, find yourself a little grocery store and then, pick up enough supplies for the time that you're going to be there. There's no reason why just because it's a hotel doesn't mean you can't treat it like you are still at your own home. I know those restaurants are tempting, but, save some money, although your expenses are probably paid for, but whatever you need to do to stay on track and stay healthy. So those are my tips. I am going to show you what I am bringing with me to the conference, and I will be back to close up this video. Okay, so this is what I'm bringing today to the conference. Now, it may seem like a lot, but we do have an 1.5-hour drive each way, so it will be 3 hours in the car at least, depending on traffic. And I just want to satisfy any craving you may have. I want, the sweet, the salty, the whatever. And I am counting points today, so I will give you the smart points on each of these. So I am going to bring some fruit. Now, I do have some grapes here, and I do have some cherry tomatoes here. Now, I'm going to bring some oranges. These are like the little tangerines or mandarins, whatever you call them, and an apple. And my tip for these is I'm going to put like the apple in its own little bag here. I'll put the oranges in a bag. And with them being in their own little bag, then it almost gives me a garbage bag too for the orange peel. So whether I'm in the car or whether I'm at the conference, I have somewhere I can put those orange peels. So that is a tip for that. Same with the apple core. So I would slice it up, but I don't want it to get brown, so I can eat it. And then, like I said, if I'm in the car, I can put it inside the bag and then just throw it in my purse. So there's a tip for transporting fresh fruit. Now I'm going to bring this whole entire bag of baby carrots, and a couple reasons. My coworkers like them as well, so we always kind of bring baby carrots with us. But also, I can eat them in the car, I can eat them at the conference, I can eat them, wherever. So that's just it. And what I'll probably do is put these in a gallon size Ziploc bag. And then kind of for my salty kind of craving, I do have some veggie straws. There's 3 points worth in here. And I have a protein bar. This is 5 points. So this is the chocolate chip cookie dough. These are the ones that are like the Quest bars, but the Costco brand. And I do bring my own milk. So this is some skim milk. I'll be using this for my coffee. I hardly ever am at a conference where they provide any low-fat version for your coffee. So I just like to bring some just so I have it. And then this is salad dressing. Same reason, they hardly ever have any low-fat or fat-free versions for salad dressing. So this is some fat-free zesty Italian dressing. So, and I'm used to bringing this kind of stuff, so it doesn't bother me. If it does bother you to bring this stuff, then either maybe just have tea instead of coffee, or just don't have a dressing, or try to pick maybe more of an oil-based one, or instead of the cream-based ones, and then you could just be real easy on the salad dressing. Or if they offer like oil and vinegar, just have the vinegar on there, or a lemon wedge, something like that. I always bring gum. That kind of keeps me away from snacking. And then I'll bring one of these raspberry green teas and then a water, plus I have my big water bottle. So that's a really important thing, like I said, to stay hydrated. But I like to bring one of these just so I have something else in case I see, you know, because they always have juice and things like that. So that way I kind of can, you know, satisfy that juice craving I have. So this is what I'll be bringing with me. I will switch over to my big purse. That way I can just throw everything in there. I tried to find a small lunch bag so I could put some of this stuff in there, but I couldn't find one, so I'll just be using a big Ziploc bag and just putting some ice packs. I'll put these ones in their own and I'll put an ice pack in there. And the rest of the stuff I'm not too worried about keeping cold for the amount of time that I will be there. So this is what I'm bringing. Okay, so I hope that you got some ideas for me for this video on how to stay on track when you are going to a conference or business meeting. Now, as you can see, I did bring quite a few things. It may look like a lot for just a day-long meeting, but I feel like things like the protein bar, if for some reason the lunch availability was not very good or very diverse or something that I could turn into something healthy, then I did have that protein bar, so I could always eat that, and you know, and whatever else I was able to nibble on for lunch. And then I had the protein bar to kind of tide me over until I got home and I could have dinner. And then I have plenty of fruits and vegetables and, you know, things to drink. And so I hope that this gives you some ideas, and just let me know down below if you have any other questions about staying on track when you have a full-time job and when you're having to travel for work. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give me a thumbs up if you did, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys.